right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our main event of the evening, our co-main event of the evening. It is scheduled for 8 rounds in the featherweight division. And fighters, if you're scared, you better say you're scared. It's time to put up a shut up, get down and throw down. There's about to be a beatdown because Bugeye Promotions is in town. Introducing first, in the blue corner, this gentleman wearing the red trunks trimmed in white. He tipped the scale at 134 pounds. He is a veteran of 46 professional bouts. He sports some of the top featherweights in the world, and now here's his opportunity to put a loss on the record of his opponent. This gentleman hails all the way from Miami, Florida. Please welcome Julio Cornell. From Colombia. Colombia is his home. Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, wearing the black trunks trimmed in white. This gentleman tipped the scale at 131 pounds. He is known throughout the world as one of the finest young amateurs and now professionals. His record as a professional, 12 wins, no losses, 5 knockouts. He is a former 3-time National Golden Glove champion. He is also a 2004 Olympic qualifier. Ladies and gentlemen, the current and undefeated WBC Youth Featherweight Champion from Louisville, Kentucky. Please welcome the rich, the famous one, Rasheem Jefferson. Fighters to the center of the ring.
Both fighters should see my instructions in the dressing room. They're not going to get all kinds of picture stuff like that. Any questions here? Here, let's talk to us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be for 8 rounds in the featherweight division. Rasheem Rich and Famous Jefferson.
Originally out of Philadelphia, now fighting out of Louisville, Kentucky. And this young man is ready to rock and roll. And from Colombia, now fighting out of Miami, Florida, Julio Cornell.
All right, it's round number 1 of this scheduled 8-round contest between Rasheem Rich and Famous Jefferson. And he wears it on his trunks, in the black trunks. And you can tell, this is one talented young kid.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he faces up with this veteran Cornell who's been in with all the big names in the featherweight division. Tim Austin, one of the top pound-for-pound guys in his own right during his time. So see how a good test for Jefferson early in his career. See how he does in this test.
Nice little overhand right that time by Jefferson in the black trunks, taking on Cornell in the red and white. And the thing about it is that when you fight such noted names that Cornell has been in the ring, it gives you tremendous experience. It also gives you a tremendous fortitude for victory and for winning. Talk about Rasheem Jefferson's last professional fight. It was in New York, and he was pretty impressive, 6-round decision. However, he's always fighting guys that are much bigger than he is. I mean, this guy comes in shape all the time, and most of his opponents can never match his conditioning.
One of the things I'm looking at right now, Ronnie, with Rasheem Jefferson, he's really taking his time in the ring. I really like what I'm seeing. He's not over-anxious in this fight against the solid veteran Cornell. He's really letting the fight come to him, and I really like the way that his game plan is early on in this fight.
I tell you what, it's been an impressive night of first-round knockouts. And one thing you would think that Rasheem Jefferson might come into a fight like this a little excited, trying to get to be the most impressive guy on the card, but he is business as usual. He says, you know what, if it comes, I'll take the knockout. That time, Cornell hit Jefferson with a right hand followed by another right. That's been one of the problems for Jefferson. He has been hit with right hands, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Cornell has the strength to deal with the speed and quickness of Rasheem Rich and Famous Jefferson. And he's the kind of guy you don't want to get upset.
No, you don't at all. I happened to be at that last flight that Rasheem was at, and he looked very impressive. He takes his time in there. He's a technician. He's picking his man right now. He's picking Cornell. See, everything he's doing, he's putting combinations, 2s and 3s. He's looking real good. I believe he's controlling this fight right now.
Oh, he's definitely controlling the fight, no doubt about it. And the thing about it is that, yes, Cornell was able to get through with 2 right hands, but it's how Rasheem Jefferson responded like a tremendous pro. And that's what tells you a lot about Bugeye Promotions and all the people that are putting this fight together. This man is getting it done.
Yeah, Jefferson wasn't even fazed by that right hand. Got the crowd a little anxious as you heard them, roar their approval or disdain, one or the other, whenever Cornell did land those shots, but had no effect. And Jefferson, upon receiving them shots, started landing his own power shots on Cornell, obviously saying he didn't like that.
One thing it looks like we're probably going to get out of round number 1, and for the first time, the round girl is going to have to do some work for round number 2 as Rasheem Jefferson takes his time in a very interesting fight. 10 seconds left to go here in round number 1. And that's the bell for the end of round number 1. Rasheem Jefferson and, of course, Mr. Cornell. And I told you the crowd would get pretty excited about that.
The crowd is excited to see a round 2 tonight, Ronnie.
Let's take a look into the crowd as well as we take a look into the corner of Rasheem Jefferson. Rasheem Jefferson, rich and famous, very talented fighter out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, now making Louisville, Kentucky his home. Tell us about his amateur career, what you know about it, Antonio.
He very well established amateur career, 3-time bantamweight national, Golden Glove champion, and the Golden Gloves were just finished up this year. And one thing about the Golden Gloves that's different from a lot of the other amateur tournaments, that's the tournament they let them kids fight. I mean, they don't mess around, they don't do many standing 8 counts, they really let the kids fight. And see Rasheem Jefferson be a 3-time national Golden Glove champion, that really says something about his amateur career.
He's a good father, good family man, Rasheem Jefferson. I tell you what, he's in tremendous shape, no doubt about it. I mean, there's hardly any body fat on this kid at all. And he loves to train. I mean, anytime you put him in the ring with anybody, he's working. And what you've got to love about what he's doing right now is that Jefferson, rich and famous as he is, or will become with Bugeye Promotions and Edwin Bowie, is learning so many great techniques. I mean, how many young fighters do you see, Antonio, as well as Brother Ali, that go to the body as effectively as Rasheem Jefferson?
I mean, this kid, he does it in the gym. First of all, the fight is won in the gym. And talking about a hard worker, this kid lives in the gym. As you can see, the body, every time he goes to the body, he follows up with another effective shot like you have to do. And you don't see a lot of guys, like you said, his weight go to the body as effectively with the power he has. Rasheem Jefferson has a lot of power behind all of his shots, especially to the body. And as a fighter, taking those body shots take everything out of you.
One thing, he's got Gary Starks Sr. in his corner. Of course, Gary Starks Jr. is the son of Gary Starks Sr., who is becoming one of the best trainers in all of America these days.
And Gary Starks have got a dynamite son in Gary Starks Jr., very promising young prospect as well, and just try to get back on the winning side of things. And Rasheem Jefferson can really learn a lot from both Gary Starks Jr. and Sr., really.
One thing we can see here in round number 2 is that Rasheem Jefferson is turning up here in round number 2. He just missed with that right hand. I mean, he threw it from a distance and it landed, but had he thrown it a little closer, I don't know if Mr. Cornell would have been standing up watching this fight.
Jefferson's really getting comfortable in there, and he's really opening up more on his punches and showing a little bit, being more aggressive in there as well, and really wants to show this crowd that maybe he didn't get this first round knockout like all the other matches, but he can definitely have some pop in his gloves. And you see the body work again, as you pointed earlier, Ronnie, really taking its toll on Cornell right now.
Rasheem Jefferson putting on a display and a clinic of body work as he continues to dig to the body of Julio Cornell. And Julio Cornell doesn't have an answer for it. And I know he's been in the ring with, of course, some of the top featherweights in the world. I know he's, of course, been in the ring with names that are so recognizable in the world of boxing. However, Jorge La Sierra, Tim Austin, I mean, Daniel Maldonado, just to name a few.
Steve Molitor, Nelson Diepa. I mean, this guy's been in there with the who's who in the featherweight division. I mean,
but I don't think he's ever had anybody throw body punches on him like Rasheem Jefferson. One thing we do know,
that's just a really good thing about Rasheem Jefferson, Ronnie, is the fact that, when you're coming from the amateurs, you don't get a lot of punches that score going to the body. And to see Rasheem Jefferson, the maturity level of this kid at such a young age already, really just starting out his career, only in his 13th pro bout, 14th pro bout, really going to the body really says something about this kid.
Nice action here in round number 2. And Rasheem Jefferson is giving this crowd something to cheer for because we're about to go to round number 3.
The crowd, I'm sure, will cheer that as well.
Way to end and way to finish a round.